focused on what needs to be done and discourage people from doing more than is required. If someone wants to add something to the project, you can use the scope statement and project objectives to decide whether the addition makes sense. On the other hand, if you run into trouble with the budget, schedule, or availability of resources, one option is to reduce the project scope. Add the scope statement to your project definition. You'll use it throughout the project to help keep it on track. Managing a project is like a balancing act between three factors: scope, time, and cost. These factors are often called the triple constraint. You have scope to complete, time to perform the work, and how much it will cost. As you remember from your childhood math classes, you can't specify all three variables in an equation. And yet, that's exactly what customers tend to do. As a project manager, you're likely to hear that they want the work done cheap, good, and fast. It's fine to want things, but the challenge is to find out what the customer really needs. That way, you'll be able to juggle in order to make sure you satisfy those needs. With our example project, suppose Beth insists that the scope must be done by the end of May for less than $30,000, and you're positive that isn't doable. How do you find out Beth's must-have? First, ask why to help you understand the situation. Why do you need the project done in 3 months? If Beth tells you that her current lease is up in May and the landlord has a new tenant moving in, then time is the most important factor. If she says that it took 3 months the last time she moved her office, then the schedule might not be the driving factor. After you understand the project's time constraint, ask why the budget is set at $30,000. Maybe $30,000 is the line of credit she got. On the other hand, she might say that a business owner she knows just did the same thing for $30,000. Another way to uncover the crucial factor is with what-if scenarios. For example, what if we can't finish the work by May? If Beth looks queasy and says, "It has to be done by May or we'll have nowhere to go," it's likely that the schedule is most important. Then ask, what if it costs more than $30,000? Maybe Beth talks about going back to the bank to increase the line of credit, or estimates how much she can take from cash flow. That's another indication that time is most important. A third technique is to ask the customer to choose between two of the constraints. For example, you might say, "Hey Beth, if we had more money, finishing the project in May is more likely." Or ask her whether she would rather cut scope to stay under $30,000 or complete the full scope even if it costs more. Another trade-off could be to reduce the initial scope to move into the space in May. Practice identifying the most important constraint with a project you're working on. Ask why and make a list of what-if scenarios to help clarify what's important. After you get the project definition in writing, the next step is to make sure it's correct. That is, it accurately represents what the customer needs to achieve. For small projects, confirming the project definition is fairly easy because you usually have only 1 or 2 people to please. The key is to meet with the customer and other key stakeholders to review the definition. Don't send an email asking, "Hey, is this project definition correct?" They might reply with a yes without ever reading it. Instead, walk through each component of the definition: objectives, deliverables, success criteria, and scope. You've probably had conversations where someone said, "Oh, I thought you meant." Don't assume that the customer sees the definition in the same way you do. For each element in the project definition, paraphrase what's written. Describing something using different words could uncover inaccurate information. Another technique is to ask the other people in the meeting to describe an element in their own words. For the new office space, suppose you describe the furniture installation deliverable as installing new furniture. When Beth describes that deliverable, she says it's installing existing furniture in the new space. That discrepancy could prompt a discussion of getting movers. In one of my own projects, I uncovered a significant misunderstanding. One of the deliverables was manuscript files ready for production. To me, that meant files in Microsoft Word that were ready to be converted to desktop publishing format, so that the text and graphics could be laid out. The customer described that deliverable as files ready to be sent to the printer. That gap in the scope introduced a few additional weeks to the schedule and increased the project cost. After all the discrepancies are sorted out, it's time to get approval of the definition in writing. People have a way of forgetting what they agreed to. A written sign-off can act as a reminder. Once the project definition is improved, you can begin planning your project. Using one of your own projects, put together a definition for it. Build a list of questions to help clarify the definition and uncover any misunderstandings. Planning and other project management activities help make a project successful. Too much project management, and the project might drown in bureaucracy. Too little, and the project might fail. The key is to determine how much project management it will take, no more, no less, to ensure that the project achieves its goal. To find that sweet spot of just enough project management, it pays to be smart and a little bit lazy. When you're smart, you can identify what really needs to be done. And when you're lazy, you find the simplest and easiest way to do those things. As a rule of thumb, the time a project manager spends is about 15% of the project hours. That means out of 1,000 hours, 850 hours would be for doing the actual work to achieve the project goal, and 150 hours would be project management to make sure the project is successful. Small projects usually represent fewer total hours, so the hours for project management are less too. This just enough style of project management also helps prevent unnecessary administrivia for team members, which means they have more time to work on their assignments. The good news is that smaller projects often have simpler goals, more straightforward deliverables, and smaller teams. So project management doesn't have to be cumbersome. It can be more informal and intuitive, as long as you still perform the crucial steps. Here are tips for hitting the sweet spot in project management. Track only the information you need. Don't burden your team members with tracking and reporting too much detail. Make it as easy as possible for people to report what they're working on and the progress they've made. Stay on top of the information you do track, like action items or change requests. That way you spend less time putting out fires. Keep communication as simple as possible. A team email list, shared folders, tools like collaboration software, whatever makes the most sense for your project and your people. Last but not least, run effective meetings. Because meetings involve participants, you can save tons of time and money by holding as few meetings as needed and keeping the ones you do run as short as possible. Whether you're working on a team or on your own, projects run more smoothly when you organize your project files effectively. Very small projects with very small teams might be able to track project information in single files. For example, one spreadsheet for change requests, another for issues, and a third for risks. As far as which type of file to use, if you're going to spend a lot of time editing the content of the document, such as defining requirements, go with a word processing document. On the other hand, a spreadsheet makes it easy to sort or filter entries in a long list. You can also perform calculations, such as adding up all the hours for approved change requests. If your project produces more information, you might end up with multiple files about tasks or change requests. In that case, you create folders for each category of information, such as tasks, risks, changes, issues, and so on. When files change over time, you also need to keep track of the changes to your documents. If you use a program that can track changes, everyone can view and edit the file and see everyone else's changes. If edits occur in sequence, you can use file names to keep track of the current version and the person who made the edits. A handy naming convention is to add the date and initials to the end of the file name. Say I edit the issues file on October 17th, 2018. The file name would be something like issues_20181017 BJB. By entering the date as year, month, and day, your files will appear in chronological order. When someone else edits the file, they can append the date and their initials to the end of the file name. To keep the current versions of documents in the spotlight, create a subfolder called Old Versions in each folder. Keep the current version of the file in the top folder and move previous versions to the Old Versions folder. That way, older versions will be out of sight, but easy to retrieve if you need them. Suppose you work on a project with 5 other people from 3 different companies. Each person is in a different city. 2 team members use Windows PCs, and the other 3 work on Macs. What technology helps everyone collaborate and share information? Email is an easy common denominator for communicating, and it's easier than phone calls and conference calls. An online storage service can reduce issues between Windows and Mac machines. Or you can use software that supports collaboration and sharing, such as Basecamp, Asana, and Mavenlink. Keeping files organized helps you find the info you need so your projects run more smoothly. Identifying work is a big part of project success. Your estimates, project team, and schedule all stem from the work that's required. If you forget work that's needed, your schedule could be too short, your budget too small, or your team understaffed. And the project might fall short of its goal. The key is to divide the project work into small tasks so you can plan, track, and manage your project effectively. Small tasks make it easier to estimate time and cost, assign team members, and measure progress. You'll complete tasks more frequently, and each completed task is a clear indication of progress. When the project team is fairly small, consider getting the whole team together to brainstorm the required work. You're less likely to forget tasks, and it'll help build buy-in with the team. If a project-wide meeting isn't feasible, smaller teams can identify the work for their part of the project. Then you and team leads can assemble the complete task list. If you aren't familiar with the type of work, it isn't the end of the world. You can ask other project managers or outside experts for help. Project deliverables are the place to start. The sample project deliverables include office space ready for occupancy and operational network, internet service, phone system, and software. Start by identifying the tasks you need to produce each of these deliverables. If any task seems too broad or sounds like it'll take a long time, break it down into even smaller tasks, which is why this diagram is known as a work breakdown structure. When you break work down into smaller tasks, the higher level task is called a summary task because it summarizes the tasks below it. How do you know whether you've broken your tasks down enough? The rule of thumb is that tasks should run between 1 and 10 days. You can also break down tasks to work that 1 or 2 resources do. On the other hand, don't break tasks down too far. A long task list means too much time spent managing, communicating, and reporting. If you need to describe work in detail, it's best to create a separate document. That way, you can hand the details to the person assigned to the task. Include the name of the file in your task list so it's easy to find. You might also include results or criteria that identify when the task is complete and whether it was completed correctly. Pick one of your own projects and use the deliverables to build an initial task list, like this task list for the sample project, which you can find in the exercise files. Then examine the list to see whether you need to break the work down further. Finally, pretend you're going to give a task to a beginner and prepare a detailed set of instructions, including how to tell if the task is complete. Good estimates are important whether a project is small or large. Low estimates make it impossible for a project to succeed because everything would have to go perfectly, and that never happens. Team members get stressed out because they can't finish their work in the time they're given. Customers are unhappy because they don't get what they want when they want it. High estimates cause different types of problems. A high estimate makes a good project look like it's too expensive or too long, so it might not get approved. Even if a project with a high estimate is approved, it will probably use all the time and money it gets, which takes resources away from other projects. So let's talk about how to get good estimates. Start by estimating time. That is, the hours or days it will take to complete tasks. That's because work hours affect both the schedule and the price tag. The estimate worksheet here is available in the exercise files. The work hours affect the schedule because it's built around how much time people can work on tasks and when they're available. Work hours affect cost because you pay people for the hours they work, as the labor cost in the estimating spreadsheet shows. Don't ask for just one estimate for a task. Like your morning commute, a task could take less time if everything goes well, and it could take a lot longer if problems arise. So ask for an optimistic estimate, most likely, and a pessimistic estimate, as shown here. There might be other time-based costs, such as equipment rental or leased space. You also have to estimate costs that aren't time-based, like materials, travel expenses, and fees. In the sample project, there's a $4,000 construction permit and costs for equipment and software. Ask the team members assigned to your project for estimates. These people not only understand the work that has to be done, but they know how long it will take them to do it. Another option is outside experts, colleagues who have managed similar projects, contractors, and vendors you hire, such as the IT consultant. As you get more practice estimating, coming up with accurate estimates will become easier and easier. The project schedule is a big part of your project plan. You put the tasks in the order that work has to be done. Add in your time estimates, and you can figure out when tasks should occur and how long the project should take. Some tasks have to be done before others can start. For example, you'd better build the first floor of a building before you start the second floor. In project management terms, The order is called a task dependency or task link. For example, a finish to start link is when one task has to finish before the next one can start. We're going to use a simplified task list for the new Office project to put tasks in order. The formal name for this diagram is a network diagram. With small projects, you and your team can build it by sticking sticky notes to a whiteboard. We're going to start at the beginning of the project. Ask yourself, what comes first? For the sample project, that's find new office space. Then ask, what's next? In our example, it's obtaining a construction permit. Once you have that, you can build out the space. And finally, the owner can approve the build out. With the construction tasks in order, we can start on the technology tasks. First, we need to negotiate and sign the IT contract. Then the IT consultant can work on the network plan, phone plan, and software plan. After those plans are approved, the consultant can install and configure the network, followed by the phone system and then the business software. After the systems are in place, the owner approves the systems. There's one last task, to sign up for internet service. That can start anytime, but has to be finished before the network can be installed. The tasks are in the right order. Now it's time to find out how long the project's going to take. You can go through the network diagram and add up durations to find the longest path, which is called the critical path because it affects when the project finishes. Let's start with the office space. Find new office space. is 6 days. The construction permit is 10 days. Build out space is 10 days, and approved build out is 1 day. That all adds up to 27 days. Adding up all the IT installations is another 11 days, so the total path is 38 workdays, about 7.5 weeks. The other path starts with negotiate and sign IT contract, which is 1 day. With the network, phone, and software plans, that adds up to 12 days. Because the office space tasks are 27 days, that means IT planning could delay up to 15 days without delaying the IT installations. That ability to delay is called float. Because the IT planning tasks have float, they're not on the critical path. The path with the office build-out and IT installations is the critical path. If the project starts on March 5th, it is scheduled to end on April 25th. Since the owner wants the office ready in May, the schedule is looking good so far. With small projects, it doesn't take long to get tasks in the right order and identify the critical path. For practice, use sticky notes to build a network diagram for one of your own projects. Once you have your task list in place, you can start identifying people to do the work. You can start by identifying the skills needed for project tasks and adding that information to your task list. For example, in the sample project, you plan to use an IT consultant for the network, phone system, and software. With the skills mapped to your tasks, you're ready to line up your team. First, if you already know who you can assign, it's simple to assign people with the requisite skills and available time. Second, if you work in a large organization, you might request people with the skills you need from line managers or the human resources department. Third, if you're hiring outside help, you use a procurement process to find resources and bring them on board. In addition to the people who do the work, you also want to identify who can make or approve decisions and who needs to know what's going on. As shown in the assignments from the sample project, which you can find in the exercise files, the business owner is the only one who can sign contracts, commit to the budget, and approve the completed work. You can also add who needs to know about tasks so you can keep them informed. For example, the employees and clients need to know when the new office space will open. If your project is large,
Project executive. Ooh. Okay, I know where you are. Nope. Hello? Oh. Oh, shoot. Hello? Okay. Oh, okay. It's through my headset. I'm sorry about that if I was on mute for a while. Oh, I'll turn it on. Alright, should be coming up. If not, I'm sorry. Yeah, haven't set this computer up too much for Teams yet. Alright, yeah, I don't think the camera's loading up right now. Hey Jason, I'm doing good. I just saw your location. It seems like, yeah, you're close by the Ashley Furniture, nearby the Pacific Commons. I used to go to school over in Fremont, so I know the area pretty well. How I'm living in San Jose, but I still got my parents over there in Fremont. Well, I just did some research on your company. I mean, yeah, it's a nice company where, it's employees first. You got a profit sharing. I know woodworking enough. I saw the website. Being a manufacturing major, as well as having an uncle who does some woodworking on his own, making sofa signage for his Muslim religion, etc. But yeah, I think that's it. Well, I saw that you guys do a lot of. Oh, sorry about the dog. Well, you guys make cabinetries, and then I saw you guys have a lot of community events, team building going on. Correct? Yeah, I think right after the COVID situation, it just really started going a little bit more haywire inside the job market, and especially right now with the new administration. You're right. Okay, yeah, sure. So, I'm a graduated over there in San Jose State with a manufacturing degree. So yeah, I did all the hands-on jobs, working with plastics, working with metals, doing material science, and of course woodworking, process and quality control. And then I got into 15 years into design. I got a certificate at De Anza College because I thought I had an aptitude for doing design work. I like doing the top down side views. As a kid, I did those Mensa puzzles before where I just like tested my, right brain rationale. So from my 15 years of design, I worked doing I guess the semiconductor industry, defense industry, and then the solar industry as well. I know my 2D, I know my 3D design. From my last 2 years, or my last two companies, I did a little bit more of the project engineer, project management role, starting with Centrica Business Solutions. They showed me a little bit about working with the sales, working with RFIs, doing contracts, and let's see, change orders and procurements. From that point on, I with Cal Solar worked with the same thing. We have a legal team, and then it got into new construction homes. So that was their creme de la creme. They were able to work with all these developers, and then I had to I had a choice of projects where I moved from start to finish. So I uh, worked with different professional engineers, stakeholders, internal teams, as well as documented and controlled all the processes from start to finish, working with accounting, working with my HR team, working with my own team, and getting procurement all set up in time for the installation. Uh, and then my last company, Solar Logistics, was the real test where, well, these guys did not know at Solar as much as I guess most of the engineering crew. So I had to do a little bit of just education for them, as well as work closely with the project managers who didn't know that much about solar, and then just try to create a process, create a flow, worked with just putting input and designs together with smart sheets. And then, yeah, that's when I decided, okay, well, I could try to go into project management. I tried to study up on getting my PMP certificate at De Anza. So I'm taking a few courses right now. Currently, I am taking a readiness PMP course as well as getting all the prerequisite courses all put together. And then, yeah, I know my Bluebeam. I know how to do design work. I know the Office suite. I know most of the project management tools because each of the companies that I work for deals with them, and I contributed in a sense. Uh, I don't think that solar is doing too well right now, so I have already did apply to some of the solar companies out there. Didn't seem like I was getting any bites. I think with the new administration, the funding is just not there. I mean, there's a big battle going on between who's going to be an energy producer. So that's why I switched over to a project management role. One of my reasons for that. I'm open to anything right now. That's why, project management, I think it tailors to all types of other industries. I have a lot of other backgrounds. I'm very diverse. I moved around a lot, to what Jason just said. Yeah. So I just got a good feel for a lot of working with a lot of different people. I worked with S Tesla employees who likes to automate things. I worked with the defense industry who likes to document and create reports. Oh, are you like a defense industry guy? I hear a chuckle. Oh, okay. And then, yeah, I mean, I worked with like my last company. They're just, well, most of the solar industry is very innovative and just result oriented, which was great for me. That's why it stuck in it for that long. But, with as times change, I probably gotta change as well. Hmm. Oh yeah, I mean detail oriented, knowing what to put on certain pages, being able to read blueprints in that way. I mean millwork, for solar we look lot on the roof detail. So, I guess I could work on that one for you guys, but I know you guys do a little bit more just accessories. Oh yeah. Yes, so we do work with like a lot of different disciplines in solar. Architect, structural, electrical. Uh, so I had to, for Cal Solar, I had to look through a lot of their plan sets originally, because they do new construction. So I gotta be okay. So our solar equipment is going to go inside the electrical room. Let me take a look at the architectural drawing. Let me take a look at the electric room and see if we could fit our switchgear, our sub panel, and then run our wires through these walls into this one room. For the panels, we're gonna have to look at the roof plan. So we're gonna have to go into that page, and then I'll take that page, I'll put in my CAD, I'll lay out my panels on that CAD plans, and then I'll send it back to the stakeholders, and the team to make sure they agree with that. I'll say any like obstructions or any sort of troubleshooting that needs to be fixed, and then yeah, we'll put it in their plan. We'll see if we could incorporate it into their plan sets. For electrical, yeah, I had to deal with a lot of just sizing the breakers, making sure like we got space inside their sub panel or our sub panel, and then their switch gears. So yeah, it's a lot of looking at different trades plan sets from that. So I do a lot of just looking at plan sets and then drawing into our plan sets as well as working with them to incorporating on Procore or whatever project management tools they use. Yeah, we got site surveyors and stuff like that too. Yeah. Take pictures of the room and yeah, measure them out. So I also did a couple of site surveys myself. So I went up to the roof, took my little tape measure and then go, all right, well, the vents are here, the room is this big, and then yeah, I'll go back into my hotel room and then I'll do my CAD skills and then start drawing there up on CAD. Yes, I am. I mean, yeah, you guys are, around the area. You guys are in Fremont, and I know a little bit about woodworking, and hopefully I could and just contribute in some way. Stay within the area too. Oh yeah, I touched every project in my own fashion. I try to do my responsibility and my due diligence in, I guess, the engineering portion. We got a sales crew at the beginning, so he'll like basically sell it. I probably will not get anything but an address sometimes. But then, I'll work with sales and then design a system from that. And then it goes down to um, I guess the site survey team, so we'll have to try to get as much information as possible according to what I designed. I work with procurement, and then that's when we go into engineering. I'm going to have to talk with some of the professional engineers to make sure the structural is sound, the electrical is sound, uh, in which time still working with stakeholder to tell them the process and what's going on. No, well, I would say that we're a team on everything, but I try to give my input on all parts of it. I mean, we have a procurement manager, we have project managers, we'll have like outside designers, but I guess I'm in the know of what's going on. I don't know that I mean, I was the one that knew solar the best, so I was like giving them my feedback onto most of our projects, as well as trying to get it permitted and interconnected. Uh, it feels like still a team. I mean, the PMs, did teach me a lot. They do make a lot of just organizational tables, charts. They try to get us information if we're uh, asking for it. But yeah, sometimes it feels like I'm, the project manager in most things. Yes. I mean, usually they did want the project manager to talk with the homeowner or the developer. uh, they did. The project, yeah. I mean, I probably did a little bit of back and forth with them also. But yeah, primarily they're the ones that are supposed to. Um, and yeah, sorry, was that the question about the communication? I did the initial sometimes. The original site visits, sometimes I'll be working with okay, I did like a couple of different way. We did a couple of different ways with a couple of different companies, but yes. Usually if the site team knows how to do it, I'll rather them do it. In this company, I did some of it. Because I knew a little bit about solar. I knew what the design team was looking for, and I was willing to take the steps in order to get this project just moving as quick as possible because we had those deadlines. I'd rather be the Mhm. In the solar field, yeah, it's whatever it takes just to make the project move forward. I mean, I was uh, on call if they need me to be. Sometimes we'll have outsourced drafters from India or Bangladesh that I'll be eating my dinner while talking with them at home, of course. And then I'll come into the office and then I'll work with my team, uh, trying giving them a summary of what happened, and then we'll take a look at my projects with my team, look at my Excel files, look at my smart sheet, look at the Procore, checking my emails, go into other meetings, talk about our uh, priorities, and then just basically doing the work on CAD or doing blue beam red lines or having a Friday where hopefully have that time to fix any plan check or interconnection questions. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I mean that's a good question about like how my work can transfer over to uh, I guess your company. I mean, it feels like it's the same thing. So we'll do a preliminary uh, drawing. So you'll provide data, and then we'll design accordingly. Hopefully, you'll have like a good line of products that can fit into their rooms, and then yeah. Hmm? it's still probably going on sometimes. I mean, 2 years maybe at average, I think. Nah, it does take a long time because, yeah, we're working in construction, so, we gotta work with their time lines. Yeah. Okay. Uh, all right. Appreciate it, Jason. Thanks. Sure. No, I mean, I'm open to anything else. It's just like with the, I mean, a title is a title, but then just moving that project from start to finish. I was using like my CAD skills, I was using my site survey skills, I was measuring, I was kind of like the jack of all trades. Project management is just like, okay, we'll just use whatever skills we have just to get it from start to finish. Um, but yeah, I mean, uh, well, yeah, we worked with a lot of big developers. We did residential and commercial work, actually, and multifamily. I see. Okay, I see. All set up to yeah. Oh good. So you guys do have a structure and yeah, people that is specifically supposed to be doing, yeah, their tasks. It's not exactly a startup. It's more like, like a mid-sized company, I guess. I gotcha. Yeah, that's right. Nice. Well, thanks for that. Okay, so yeah, I guess I wrote down like how big is your shop, how much gets outsourced, which you kind of like gave me a description about that. Um, Sounds like yeah, everything is done in-house, right? In Fremont and Sacramento. Love that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it sounds all great. I mean, yeah, it's nothing new to me. Just working with projects, seeing as much as possible, as well as, yeah, contributing. Hopefully, yeah, I think it's a good stepping stone for me just to go from, design work to project management work where, I'm basically the second pair of eyes when looking at design and then moving it forward if needed. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a learning curve. So, yeah, I am going to be able to see some of the work being produced. I'm just going, at least I'll be there in person to, learn from the other people inside the field. When I first started out in solar, that's how I actually learned solar. So doing my, uh, I'll be in the shop, I'll be in the floor, I'll be in the office just listening to what everybody says. And that's how I just really just pick up on things. Um, and then, yeah, I do have an uncle who does a lot of just hands-on work with wood. So hopefully I could ask him for help on that aspect too. So, yeah, I'm probably just gonna keep on asking people, hey, what's going on here? And that way, that's the job of a project manager. Because all I do is just go like, so, what's going on with this project? Tell me, what are the next steps? How long will it take? And then, I'll basically be on my notepad writing all that down because that's what a project manager does. And then, they'll be able to just like give me a little bit more insight about the job too. And then I'll just be able to document it and then just make it go through the next process. So I'll learn with every single job, is what I'm saying. I think even with solar, I'm, learning new things. So every job is custom. None are the same. I mean, yes, I did come into my last position with more knowledge of solar than most of the employees, but it's like, yeah, just gotta learn what are the pitfalls, what not to do. But at least I'm also in a company that been through it, so I'll just learn from that, and then I'll use a little bit about. Oh, go ahead. Hmm. Yeah, and then I'll write all that down and then try to uh, get the lessons learned from that. Well, it'll be challenging. Uh, yes, I know. It's gonna be, well, I gotta do my research. I gotta get educated in that. So usually what I'll do is, you go online, uh, watch videos, take classes. Um, like I said, like even in solar, with Procore, they needed more, I needed to get more knowledge in Procore. So that's when I just went inside the Procore database and just started watching all those videos. And then I'll just learn how to use it a bit more, know how to use the AI functionality. So for this one, yeah, hopefully my years of construction and my knowledge with just being a manufacturing major, I know a bit about just, using a bandsaw, uh, using a mill, doing sanding and stuff like that. You know, it, and then my design work will hopefully give me a little bit of insight on, okay, I know about this stuff, but I don't know about this stuff yet. Oh no, I think I will like enjoy learning all that because I'm a manufacturing major. I came from like a computer engineering major to a manufacturing major because I like just, working stuff with my hands and everything. That's how you create things. And, I was thinking like, okay, once I learn all this about woodworking, maybe I'll make my own rig in my Prius, those sleeper Priuses. They just use thanks, yeah. They use like just woodworking to make sure like, you could do a sleeper van or a sleeper Prius. And, it's a lot of measuring, it's a lot of woodworking. And yeah, I was hoping, okay, I could just do like my own little side projects too. Right. Yes. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm looking forward. Hopefully, yeah, I'll come in and yeah, see your place. Get a nice little tour. And yeah, we'll see each other not virtually. Okay. See you, Mr. Mija. Mm, bye. Bye, sir.